What's up, everybody? We are back after a year off. Not a year off, a week off. My bad. Wedding season. Man, that's 2 times in a row, I think. I have started this live stream incorrectly. I am joined today by Jay. Jay, say hi.
What's up?
Jay is a proud new father, which is why we took last week off. So congrats to Jay. A lot of people posted saying as much. But we're back and we got a lot of films for you, and we're doing the usual, so I'm excited. And what the usual entails is watching through your films. If you are not a member, this is open to everybody, right? If you're not a member, we're gonna watch about 2 minutes of your film. If you are a member, we will watch more of your film. So we used to cap it at 5 minutes. But you know, five or so minutes, we'll try to watch most of your film. We might skip around a little bit if we're doing a 2 minute. If you are not a member and want to become a member, you can click the join button down below right next to subscribe. Starts at just $5 a month. It gets you priority access, gets you more of your film reviewed, stuff like that, and of course supports the channel. And then me and Jay, we're gonna go through and we're gonna say some things that we think we loved, things that we think you did really well, things that you should lean into as a filmmaker. And then we're going to go on the flip side, talk about some things that we think you could do better, areas where you could improve. Yeah.
Bobby, isn't it funny, Bobby, that like no matter how we do the stream, someone complains?
Dude, yeah. I think we got a comment. It was like, what, 2 streams ago, or maybe the last
Stop
stream
interrupting. I was like,
yeah. They're like, stop pausing the video. And it's like,
no. Or don't watch, or do watch.
Yeah.
But like if
this is our stream. Ha.
Well, also like there's entire genres of internet YouTube videos of people who watch other people's YouTube videos and then interrupt the entire time. So
also, John brings up a good point, which is that it's our channel, and we've done it both ways, and we've found that people complain no matter how we do it. So honestly, it's not even consistent week to week always. Like,
it's more fun to me to interrupt because I love interrupting.
Well, and it's more banter and stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I just feel like it's more like low key.
And, like, laugh at something or like bring up a good point or whatever.
I didn't think people were watching it just to watch these people's wedding films. Otherwise, they'd be following them on Instagram.
Exactly. Like we haven't done it in a few weeks, but a lot of times I feel like we'll post in the chat.
No one clicks on the videos. No one clicks on the links. No one's like, oh, that filmmaker. Like, so you should though. I would encourage you to do it. Support your community, although not with your own main account, because then Instagram will only think that you're interested in wedding filmmaking, and your clients won't see you. So. I always encourage you, unless you're following the Wedding Film School show on Instagram, which you must do. Honestly, dude,
show to follow is what
with our podcast this year, I'm not gonna lie, dude, it's freaking fire.
Yeah,
it's fire.
I think our podcast. Look, it's our podcast, right? I get it. You know, I'm a little biased.
You're on it next week, Bobby. We're talking about having multiple businesses.
I love it. And I think it might be the most slept on resource in the industry, especially given the fact that it's straight up free.
Straight up free, and I'm not an educator. I'm a freaking practitioner.
Yeah, like we're actually doing
every week. I'm
not
shooting weddings.
Money off of. Well, some of you are paying us $5 a month, but
that is why you should pay us $5 a month, because I'll be honest about the channel. The channel's a labor of love. When we bought the channel, and I bought this channel from the previous people. It was because I was like, this is a really important thing that Craig started. And it matters to the community. And I wanted it to persist and keep going. We didn't buy this or get involved in wedding film school to make tons of money and become rich. I know what wedding filmmaking has been for me and my family and the people in my life, and how much I love doing it, how passionate I am about wedding filmmaking. And I was like, I want to do something that elevates this and helps the industry. And, you know, someday, who knows, maybe I'll figure out a way to monetize it. But for now, we just want to make content that is fun, that we enjoy, that matters to the community. So if that matters to you and you want to support our mission to help wedding filmmakers grow with no strings attached, then join, become a member. That's the best way to support our channel, guys. You will get a few perks, but like it's exhausting to me to think of ways to provide benefit to people. So the benefit is
we're already benefiting.
we make free content every week. And if you want to listen to free content and you appreciate what we're doing and you think it's worth it, hey, join the channel. It means a lot to us. We're actually super appreciative and very humbled by it, because as much as, you know, we've accomplished things in the wedding filmmaking industry, I don't think that means anyone should be listening to me, Bobby.
No, I think people can listen to whoever they want.
There's a lot of great people out there too, and so anyone, if I can get that $5 out of you, I know I don't take that lightly, because you could spend that anywhere. So anyway,
well, yeah, you could spend $5 with us, or you could spend 5,000 for, you know, whatever.
A class,
a master class, or whatever.
A master class of YouTube videos.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, let's get into some Marco. I am gonna get to your question, but let's do this. Let's get this queued up at least, right? So
we're
we
good
got
to
our
go.
first film coming from Jovan Films, Jonathan. Photographer was a no-show.
What?
That's brutal. I've got to think this is like earlier career, right? Probably. Like, what photographer just no-shows? Anyway, I took over as the photographer of the day while I had my buddy come shoot first look through dancing.
Good on you. Man. Interesting.
Yeah, good on you. This could be anything, Jay. This was a live wedding during a bridal show. What the? Are we getting like punked right now or something?
A live wedding during a bridal show? Are you sure I'm in the right film?
Brides would meet with vendor booths at the venue while this wedding was happening. This was a free wedding. This would have fallen under my base package. Groom was drunk most of the wedding. Dude, what is even happening here?
Where is it located? I'm trying to make sure I have the right.
And bride was a nervous wreck. FX30s
the...
and Sigma Primes.
I feel like I don't have the right film loaded up. This looks like a woodsy wedding.
This is Kenzie and Mitchell.
I'm gonna click on it because I
think you have it. I think this is it.
This is the right one.
This is what's.
This doesn't look like a bridal show. It looks like a campground.
I don't know.
I'm gonna click on it just to make sure.
He's in chat. He says we have the correct film.
Oh, okay, good. Okay.
First film under his new brand, and he's on location today. Well, we appreciate you being here with us intermittently via your phone. Don't get caught in trouble.
And also, good job making us not know that this was a bridal show.
Also, good job. Like, I don't know, the award-winning submission goes to you for what sounds like the most effed up day possible.
I don't know. I might have a couple of those beat, but here we go.
Vendors were at a different part of the venue. All right, let's do it.
Here we go. I'm interrupting already.
Yeah.
So there, guy.
Like that logo.
Me too.
Also fits in well with this vibe.
Friends and family, we come here together today in the sight of the heavenly.
Whoa.
Witnesses to join Mitchell and Kinsey in marriage.
I need my
gather
pen.
around them now in this wonderful place as these two begin their journey together as one.
I like the grain. I like the color grade.
Dear Lord, thank you for having all of our friends, family, and loved ones here on this day to witness this beautiful ceremony.
As someone with multiple children,
we ask that you always help.
Man, I wish we could have a no babies at wedding thing.
Wow, Jay just really leaning into his like 4-day-old child as a
yes.
a father of multiple children, leaning into the role.
Yeah. I mean,
I have to say, Mitchell.
More
we're
babies.
Some messages saying.
Oh, it's her baby, so that's good. It's her baby. What?
Multiple people saying the playback seems like it's dropping frames, and I'm kind of seeing it too through Zoom, FYI.
Much faster.
I'm not sure I can do much about that, guys. I apologize.
We capture these in advance, so
it's tough because you're getting them off YouTube, and like, so sometimes there can be compression issues. But also the playback on the fast stuff like this, it can struggle.
Yeah.
Do we want to cut forward a little bit?
Yeah, this is a member.
Oh, great.
If anybody knows Mitchell, he was always the center of being the.
Where is this located?
I really.
I don't know. He's in chat. Jovan or Jonathan. What?
Here we are. To Mitchell and Kinsey.
Where
So-
are you generally, location-wise, or where was this rather?
You guys have this amazing opportunity to build your family together and
I like his handheld style too.
love each other
Yeah, I
every
was gonna.
day
That's
and
something that
cherish
I
it and love each other and have
for sure was
fun.
gonna comment on.
I want to say this is a long-awaited day. We've all
That's
been
such a
anticipating
brutal-
for a long period of time.
Toast. Like, there's
Take
just
care
no
of one
winning in
another.
that.
Family first. I love
North
you,
Idaho, Jay.
and
Okay.
Congratulations.
I've shot out that
really
way.
excited
I've shot
for you,
in
Mitchell, and
Coeur
Kenzie
d'Alene
is
area.
a great match for you. Confide in each other,
Which might
have
not be
each other's
north.
back
That's
no
like
matter
west, I
what,
think.
because you're a team.
Mitchell
Oh,
and Kinsey,
yeah.
having proclaimed love and commitment to one another in the sight of these witnesses and myself, by the power vested in me in the Universal Life Church in the great state of Idaho, I
baby.
pronounce you husband and wife. Mitchell, you may kiss your bride.
How long was the coverage, did he say?
I don't think so. Well, he might have. He said it would have been his base package, so that might be in there, but I don't know. I didn't look at the collections. This is Sony. This is FX30 and Sigma Primes OSK.
All right.
Nice little ending.
What do we like about that one?
Yeah, so I agree with you. The handheld stuff kind of worked for me, and I'm always, that's never a guarantee for me.
No.
Especially with this was handheld that had a decent amount of movement. So that's, I think a lot of times I would be like, but it worked for me. For the most part, I would say. A few shots here and there felt a little wobbly or something. I feel like this was a lot of really, really natural raw capturing. Not even the even the couple stuff did not feel very posed. It felt like you were just there and they were kind of having a moment. Not even really set up, I felt like.
Yep.
Yeah. So I really like that. I agree with you. I think the color was well done and fairly consistent. I think there were a few shots here and there that
Little exposure issues a little
Yeah,
bit,
yeah.
but I also think that's just kind of a
I also think that right there, that speech setup could be
You're in-
so brutal. and
you're in
it
a
worked.
no-win scenario throughout the day.
Yeah,
So-
for sure.
So I don't-
and a cool capture of just the venue and location and
Oh, they have
area.
multiple kids. All right.
Okay,
I don't know.
gotcha.
So my opinion is this: one of the things I pride myself on, and what I think a real wedding professional is, like a wedding filmmaker who's very good, who actually knows what they're doing, is they show up at a wedding, and they don't look down on anyone. They don't think this is beneath me or all that junk, but they do know what they're shooting, and they
Yeah.
know how to elevate it. So they look
Yeah.
and they go this is just normal folks getting married. What can I do to make this wedding feel elevated? And not just match my brand, which is important, but also create something these people are going to love because nobody wants to watch it and be like, yeah, our wedding was just basic. They don't feel that way.
Yeah.
That's not the truth. And so I think a really good wedding filmmaker will show up at a wedding and say, what does this need to feel elevated? So it needs this handheld motion. It does. It needs to feel like the earthy down to earthness is on purpose. The connectiveness, not shying away from things I would normally shy away from, like people holding a glass and a beer in one hand.
Yeah.
Things that feel a little less elevated. I think in this day, you're grabbing the essence of the day. You're elevating
Yeah.
it. There's a level of fun, romanticism, but it's really just this right here. That's not a shot
Yep.
I would normally show, But at this wedding, I probably would have shot that.
on like a it's like at a campground, right? And so it works.
It's storytelling.
You think about like a great way to put that, Jay, and I love that point that you make, is like if you were shooting, if a lot of these same scenes, right? The covers coming off the buffet food, the beer in a plastic cup in your hand, whatever, right? A lot of those things will or might still exist at a high-end venue.
Yes, they do.
On the East Coast or the West Coast or wherever, right? But when you get in a scenario like that, you avoid capturing them, or you at least avoid putting them in the film.
Yeah, it's not what they put the money into.
Vibe. Exactly.
Yeah.
But this, like, that's what this is. This is like they specifically picked. Well, I mean, I don't know. This whole thing is such a effing freaking confusing setup with it being like a.
They're having a blast though, although you can see a little stumble there.
Yeah, but like, you know, this is it's a campy vibe. Like it fits so well.
It's good
So
storytelling.
I
It is good storytelling.
Yeah.
So some things I think that could be a little better. I don't like the color on the drone. I think you need to match that drone color to the rest of your stuff. Your greens are yellow, and they're not that way on the other ones, and I think you should work on that. I think, you know, I don't have too much negative to say about it. It is what it is. And so, like, am I going to be like, if I'm you, am I going to be like blasting this all over the internet? No. But it's a very, very good film.
But like, we always talk, right, about like solid, repeatable, you know, I don't want to say template, but just like you could, like, yeah, this isn't like a portfolio piece, but like they will love this. They will tell their friends to hire you.
I will say there's a couple small things I would probably try to do that would show, like, the one thing I saw, like, this is a silly thing, but like, get a different hanger.
Yep.
For that dress. Like, you can't have that hanger. You got to change that hanger out. And then I think the other one was just the dancing footage. I liked a lot of it, but I felt like you should have gotten a lot closer, or maybe shot on like
showing how empty it is.
I would have probably shot on like an 85 mil with how empty that was and really compressed it. Yeah, I would have just really compressed it. I would have tried to lean into like that shot right there.
Yeah,
brings so much energy. Yeah, and so I would have tried to shy away from those really wide shots. But other than that, I mean, I don't know what else you could have done that was significantly better with this. Minor overexposure issues, but yeah, it's very solid.
I got three things that I want to say, and they're all pretty subtle. One, you already mentioned the drone color. I felt like in both drone shots that I remember, it seemed like there was let's get to a general topic, which will apply to some of your handheld and what seemed like in the drone, which is some wobble, some of that jello. I saw that in a couple of handheld shots. That was, I think, a little too much for me.
Yeah, that's true.
And then it seemed to appear in the drone. It looked like it was like, so I don't know if that was in post or if your gimbal is malfunctioning or something, or maybe it was our capture of your stream and that was an issue, or I don't know, whatever. But I would keep an eye on those two things. And then I know you did a mix of handheld and gimbal. I know there was gimbal in there. Some of the gimbal stuff felt too fast to me personally, or like you were covering too much ground, which not always a bad thing, but I think in those scenarios I would have slowed
it has
that down
to look like, it's like, why are we going so far? Why are we traveling so far? Like Alex Douglas, go watch Sculpting with Time. Like, he has very, very, very dramatic gimbal moves, but he's covering,
very
like,
intentional.
Yeah, he's covering a massive ceiling installation down to a huge table installation down to the whole. It's like really 3 shots in one. If you're looking at a thing and you're like, it's literally just I'm walking and it's a difference of 5 to 10 feet. Sometimes it's a little goes along.
The frame isn't really changing.
Yeah, and then you're not revealing any new information by pulling back or going forward. So,
all right, I'm gonna go through comments while you queue up the next one. So let's see. I'm getting back to Marco, who was here early on and asked, do you guys like your clients' Instagram photos and to stay top of mind or stay in communication? I'll bet Jay and I are gonna have different answers here, and I think it's gonna come down to the types of brands we run. My guess for you, Jay, is that you guys don't really. Or it's hit or miss.
If I have time.
Yeah.
Like we to be honest, guys, I have a full-time person who I hired to do social media for me. So what she does, I don't know all the time.
So So maybe.
This is what my entire focus on social media is, doing collabs with wedding planners and venues. Yeah. And I get 4 times more reach when I do a collab with a wedding planner or a venue or someone like that. So I don't really so much worry like about that. I don't like, my business model is pretty much like, we're selling so many weddings to people before they even meet us that we're not like hunting in that way. But I will say this, just as a policy, I don't think it's a bad idea. And
yeah, I guess here's what I would say. I don't actively like go on Instagram and say, okay, I need to find all my clients and like a bunch of their photos. If they pop, I do connect with most of my clients through Instagram at some point. That's not necessarily how they find me, although some do. But you know, if they do pop up in my feed, I will like them. I'm not going to avoid that either. But I will say, look, I think, you know, it's helpful. It's not bad, right? But I also don't think that it's like Jay said, you're going to get a lot more out of collaborating with planners and stuff like that. Like liking somebody's photo is not.
I don't think it's a great strategy. Like this is
not a bad thing to do, but don't expect a lot of payout from it.
You know, I haven't seen anything, but it's an interesting thing, right? Like, okay, I have 3 wedding planners whose weddings I've shot, or maybe more. Lots of industry people. Almost none of them, some of them are in the industry, maybe a little lower in the industry when I shot their wedding. Some of them weren't in the industry at all. When I shot their wedding, I didn't like any of their photos. I didn't do any of that stuff. And they still refer me all the time, and they still reached out, and they still created all those relationships with us. And they never, ever, ever, like, it didn't hurt me that I didn't do that. And I have a very good relationship with them now, and an authentic one. And I think, like, people, I think that's the key. But also just make good work. I don't know. Social media is like, it's the worst. Like,
I'm with you.
It's so brutal. We already did this one, by the way, so we're not going to do this one.
Oh, okay.
This is the second one. Third one.
So let's see. Watching the stream, packing gear for tomorrow's wedding. 2 days, 2 different weddings, each 14 hours and 300 miles between locations. Godspeed. First time in 3 years of wedding shoots. Finally going to use my FPV drone. Yeah, I think, you know, we've seen a little bit of that, Jay. I haven't used one personally. I would love DJI to gift one to some high-end wedding filmmakers just to see how they would utilize it. I think it's going to be a fine line, though, OSK, between using it and it being cool, and using it and it not being cool and being overdone and useless. So
yeah, I mean, I think we are, like I was saying, I think we already did this one.
Oh,
Weddings by Isaiah.
I was texting the chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. NYC filmmaker, I find it so strange that every wedding channel or podcast I listen to is based out of Middle America, and the weddings look so chill and relaxed. Well, Austin, so you know. Well, I am in Middle America, but Jay and Jared are on the East Coast. And while we do plenty of relaxed weddings, we also do plenty of high-end weddings and destination work, and feature people from all over the world on this channel.
I'm going to tell a story.
All right. Story time.
And this is my story about something I did wrong.
All right.
And just the type of person I am and why our channel has a unique perspective. So a planner called me the other day and she's like, I love you. You're the best. When you show up, you're not there to make friends. You just want to do your job and you're professional, right? You just focus on work and shooting and doing a good job. That's your focus, right? In that environment, that is a normal East Coast thing. And in the wedding industry, everything is like very much a certain way. Everyone knows the rules. We all show up. We all do things a certain way. Nobody steps on anybody's toes. You could work with, if you're at a certain level around here, you can work with a different vendor team and every wedding will have the same experience and everyone just knows what's going on. I shot a wedding. Small wedding. The photographer, it was his second wedding of the year. There was no schedule. There was no planner. There was no nothing. I shoot the wedding. I have no conflict. I do nothing. Nothing bad happened. I shot the wedding. It was a lot of work. It was fine. Later, we get a call, and the dad was like, oh, he doesn't know that I own the company, but he's complaining to Jared. He's like, he wasn't friendly. He wasn't friendly to us. He wasn't friendly. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was working. Like, I was just walking around working. Well, you want me to like talk to everyone all day? Like, literally, I'm having to hustle to shoot your wedding. And I freaking killed it, by the way. It looks amazing. And I think like that is why the multiple perspectives are very different, because you're in these low key environments. Their expectation of you is that you're like part of their party.
Yeah.
And you're cool and chill and fun. I don't want to shoot those weddings. I'm willing to do it, and I am nothing against those weddings on a personal level. But for me, it's not my best strength. My best strength is working in an environment with other professionals, and we're all focused on being professional and just killing it. And it's why like you need to have a lot of different parts of the industry represented, because you might think like the key is to be really chill and talk. If you show up at a lot of the events I'm doing and you talk to the couple the whole time, the planner's going to tell you to literally shut up. They're going to pull you aside and say, listen, like, leave them alone. Like, these people,
Do you think that's an East Coast thing?
No.
'Cause I think I think the very high-end weddings here, there would be more exception for talking to the couple.
I think it's a rich people thing. I talk to the couples, by the way, but I don't I don't yuck it up. I'm not like interrupting them.
I probably don't either. Unless, like you said, it's like kind of that like low key, or like, you know, if I'm like doing a national park wedding where it's me, the photographer, the couple, and basically nobody else for the majority of the day.
My goal is to be invisible. My goal is to most of the day not be part of the scene. And that's like, that is the very different expectation of people. They're like, oh, he's aloof. And this other wedding, they're like, he's professional. And it totally depends on the environment you're in. Do you think the environment, and also just the couple, right? In the environment. And probably because the day reflects the couple too. In 100%. Some way, shape or form. So. Point is only to say, there isn't only one way to do this. And there's a lot of markets and a lot of things. And so that was one of the, I mean, I like that you brought it up, because for us, we were like, when we would listen to these middle America podcasts and education things, I would be like, that's not how it is. Yeah. That's not how it is for us. It doesn't mean it's not how it is for them, but it's not how it is in where we shoot weddings. It's not how I get the other thing is, you could be like, okay, you talk about, I don't know, whatever, right? Matt Johnson's in Texas. Yep. Right? If I was in Texas, also educating from a Texas perspective, he and I could have we could be in the same market, just in different categories of that market, and have very different experiences. So, I don't know. It's location, it's the market segment you're in, it's the types of planners you work with, the types of couples. By the way, I get complimented all the time for being friendly. I'm not saying you be aloof and rude. I'm saying the different, like, if you're in a certain part of the industry, the expectations of what that looks like are very different. What friendly is, or what is friendly, and what is too friendly, and when are you making a scene, and what, like, we're trying to just about you. And you got to be able to read the room. So so we're actually doing the 5th film, the Iceland film, because all the other ones were already used, because I don't know. Okay, we have more submissions. We can grab them off YouTube or something. Yeah, we'll get them. We do this. While we do that, I would also I'm all set, by the way. Jovan, if you're still here, Austin Paz asked, what's that circle thing on the mic? Was that a recorder or something from the DJ? I saw it very briefly. I didn't get a good look at it. So, okay. This is from James Turner. That's correct, right? Yeah, he's a good filmmaker. Okay, first international elopement. This couple was a little more on the reserved side, but also seemed very adventurous. We did interview style. Oh boy, there's a lot. The day before, photographers were from Iceland, and they picked 3 simple basic locations and just kind of called it a day after that. Not as adventurous as it seemed like it should have been. Welcome to Destination Weddings. Yeah, I know. Like, he just spelled it out. 95% disappointing. Yeah. Not disappointing, but just not disappointing. That's the wrong way to say it. But not to me. I totally think that you said the exact right thing. The amount of weddings that I've shot, I've been like so disappointed by, not because of anything, just because my brain. It's what you expect. It doesn't live to the expectations that your brain sets up, and you know that's kind of on you to some extent, or on me, or whatever. But like, yeah, I get that. Especially when you go somewhere cool like this, I feel like a lot of times you're just like. Or you go like okay, you look at like Stanton, right? One of Stanton's films. And on the podcast in 2 weeks. Oh. Or next week. Next week.
And so you look at that and you're like, I'm going to go rent a white, Toyota Defender or whatever that is, Land Rover, and drive it on the black sand beach. And my couple's going to be so cool. And then you got there and they're like, it's a wedding.
Yep.
And there's nothing
Or
wrong
they're
with
like,
that.
yeah, we have 5 seconds that we're going to be working with you.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, we don't want to go anywhere cool.
Yep.
If you do review this video, I'd prefer not to mention the photographers or the couple's date. Well, too late. Sorry, I should have put that at the top as a disclaimer.
What does he mean? He wouldn't want us to refer what?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't think we said anything bad about them. I think it actually brought up a really good point. Great day. Could have done more things to make the video better.
We'll be the judge of that.
General topic. Yeah, I think. It was a rainy day and very epic day. Sweet.
All right. So here's what I'm looking at with this video. Personally, I'm wondering if these interviews are going to make it worse.
Ooh.
Because I'm looking at the footage and then I'm looking at the interviews, and the second the interview pops up, I'm feeling bored.
I haven't seen anything, right? I never see these before we review them. But that is very interesting. And I also wonder, but I also wonder, if I were going into this, based on kind of what we know, and maybe he didn't know this going into it, but is there content to build around without those, even the interviews? So I don't know. Or are you just trying something new or whatever? So, all right.
Here we go.
She wanted to get married here, essentially, and I was like, yeah, I'm all for that. Let's do it.
We figured Iceland, is a perfect place to do it because it's beautiful scenery. We love hiking, we love waterfalls, and just, we love the extravagance of it.
There's also a lot of joy here too. We met in college. It was near the end of the year. I did a thing called Mr. Taylor Place.
Well, I actually saw him for the first time. He was in bodybuilding competition.
No way.
9 years ago.
That dude's ripped.
And so he was performing at our dorm, and I was just there in the audience watching, and I turned to my friend Chris, and I was like, I want to get to know this guy.
And she saw me there. I didn't see her, but she was in the crowd somewhere. But ever since then, she said that she was trying to basically find me. But I was working out at the gym, maybe a month or so after that, and she happened to be there as well, and she left her phone number.
And David texted me the next day. I love that he is easy to
I like that
communicate
shot.
with. He's always there to listen or to offer advice. He's very wise. I really enjoy when we travel together. See the world, make new memories, just experience life. He's just everything I was always looking for. I guess every new chapter that we take on together is just something to look forward to each time.
The number one thing I love about Vanessa is that she can get me to do things that no one can. She can push me to go further than I think I could go at times. That she's always really persistent. If she wants something done, she'll get it done. She is sometimes quiet at first, but she's really smart. She's also very outgoing. She surprises me more times than I can imagine, and that's another thing what I love about her. Definitely someone you shouldn't underestimate.
James a member?
No, we can skip.
Oh.
I think we go to...
Ooh, I want to see that one shot, though.
Yeah, me too. I want to go to the end.
Shot. Give me that shot.
Crop it, though.
Give me that shot. Give me that shot. That contrast.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it going in the background.
I feel like we can keep it going and talk through.
All right.
You want to go first this time?
Sure. There's a lot of very
This is cool.
Very cinematic shots. I like the storytelling right here, using actual good shooting to.
Wait, what? Where are we now?
I think he's like, we went to this one
in the
place.
water in the Santorini Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the storytelling of kind of including some of that stuff. But I think mainly there's just a lot of really good shooting throughout the film. I have a massive bias against Iceland as a location. I feel bad saying that because I know it's beautiful, but every time I see a wedding here, I think everything looks the same to me. And so it's not to say
you mean wedding to wedding, or you mean each location looks the same? Okay.
Yeah. A wedding to what else? I mean, they all do the same stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is gorgeous. I mean, it's stunning. It's beautiful. The couple wants to do it. I'm not criticizing the filmmaker in the least bit, any of them, because it is what it is. But that being said, you can't argue with the scenery, and of course, I think he got them to do a lot of things that are cool and interesting. He said he wished he could have done cooler stuff. I feel like he had a massive buy-in from these folks, and they did a lot of stuff. And I feel like that there's payoff. I mean, I've seen that waterfall about 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And but he got him to go. He got him to go on hikes. He got him to do all this stuff. And I feel like there's a lot to be said for maximizing a location. The only thing I would say is probably a good thing, but I don't really know, is I didn't get a real sense of the day really, or what was actually going on with the wedding. So
there wasn't very much structure.
It's hard for me to really say a positive or a negative about that. But a lot of nice eye candy.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's kind of the place that my brain, sits to, is and not diminishing your role in it. Obviously, though, you're in this beautiful, epic location with a couple who is bought in, and I think that is totally represented here.
Yep.
And you got lots of cool shots with them, and shots that are, I think if we take it in terms of an Iceland wedding, sure, a lot of Iceland weddings have adventurous couples who are willing to go on hikes and under waterfalls and whatever, but still, in the grand scheme of wedding films, that's some cool shooting and some cool shots. And I do especially really like some of the stuff we saw later, which was the high contrast stuff on the black sand beaches, and the I'll call them lay flats, but whatever, with the compass and the hiking shoes and the details. Those were really well thought out, I think, as well. So much so that in getting into things I would have done differently, and Jay can go first, but I would have added some of that earlier in the film. But anyway, you can go, Jay, and then I can say some of the stuff that I would do differently with this film.
Okay, so my stuff is pretty. I hope this isn't saying something about the couple, because that's not what I'm trying to do. I think that the film is worse because of the interviews.
I think that I would agree.
But
I think it has more to do with the amount of the interviews than the content.
I think it's definitely both.
Or both, but
I think it's the choice of the editing music with this couple. If you really wanted a lot of these interviews, I would have tried to make the video much stiller. I don't feel Like, I felt like the vision of the filmmaker was to make this epic film, and
that's not what the couple gave him.
And the couple didn't produce that, and then he still went with the vision, put a bunch of music, and made like it had these beautiful epic shots and all this stuff. And I think he could have done both, by the way. I really do. I think he could have had these epic moments. I think this film would have been a lot stronger if it was epic intro, epic outro, still middle.
Yep.
I think that's the way the film could have been, because I think the interviews just didn't work in the epic moment. And I think it would have been a lot stronger film if you had front loaded it with all your epic stuff, slowed it down, told a little bit of a story, and then, you know, maybe end it with a little more epic, because I felt like this music's like, boom. It's like this really cinematic music, and these people are talking like about bodybuilding competitions, and they're putting on boots, and they seem like really sweet people, and I kind of feel like it would have felt a little more natural. It felt a little displaced. Like I was having a hard, like my brain was it was cognitive dissonance. Like I was fighting what I was hearing and seeing versus the vibe I was getting. It's kind of the opposite of the previous film.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. I would add a couple things. I'm going to get into that in a second. The first thing is just a straight up error, in my opinion. You did it with him for sure. I don't know if you did it with her. You have this shot, which is, you know, medium, right? Medium wide, something like that. He is facing towards the right, and then you're close up on him. Most times he's facing towards the left, and you're cutting between them at times, and that's just, I don't know. I can't.
No bueno.
That. Yeah. So that's a small thing, and, you know, I don't know, it happens, right? Whatever. The other thing that I would get into is more along the lines of what Jay was saying, which is that I think it's a combination of a lot of things. One, I don't think that having the interviews was bad, because, well, first of all, did we have audio for this vow reading?
Not. Let me see. I think
I don't
that
think
waterfall.
I'm sure there wasn't audio here, but like
it was weird watching them talk.
100% have them read those vows in the house and use that audio if you wanted to. The interviews aren't bad. I think there's way too much of the interviews. I think we're hearing too much, especially when you're trying to do this epic film that's constantly being infiltrated with this like very cute, you know, story about how they met and stuff, and what they love about each other and whatever. So like those clash for me. And then the other thing is I feel like you kind of picked up on the fact that this couple wasn't the right fit for this epic film, because you're using this epic music, but you're backing off on the actual edit. It's not an epic edit in a lot of sections. You have these really high, intense music moments, these crashes, hold on, I take everything back, 1 second. These crashes of music, these crescendos, and you're not really utilizing them at any point visually. So I don't know if that's something subconscious or consciously that you picked up on, but yeah.
I think he should cut this into a 60-second.
Oh yeah,
make 100%. It the vision. He has the shots to make it the vision that he wants. That's how I would have handled it.
Jay, can we go back to these flat lays? And I did not pick up on this. There is like some 3D motion graphics floating through them, and if that's the case, I no longer like them, and I take back my previous comment. You know what I'm talking? These. What is this?
I don't think I think it was like a mobile or something.
No, they're like floating.
What the heck is that?
Yeah, right?
How did he make this?
I don't know. I
don't like that.
Take that layer out, and I love those shots.
I don't know. Maybe they're not shots. Maybe he just bought like a thing and composited it in the cell phone.
Put photos in. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Anyway, I feel like we touched on a lot of stuff. It's like still a very good film.
It's a good film.
What an awesome opportunity. And
I think make the 60-second teaser the film you really wanted to make. Make this film the film that the couple gave you, and you're gonna be right on. Also, this shot, I just wish you center cropped it.
I also just wish that I saw that not whatever 4.5 minutes.
5.5.
Whatever this is, yeah. Like that's such a cool shot.
Really cool.
And I agree. If it was centered, I would like it even more.
Yes. Good work, man. You're a good shooter. Yeah. Sorry to dig into it a little bit.
I like getting very cool, weddings where the filmmaker knows what they're doing, because we really get to dive into stuff in a more deep fashion and a lot more like theoretical stuff about the building of the story and using epic music and reflecting the couple. And that's stuff that we entirely skip over that kind of thing with, newer filmmakers, because it's just not worth talking about at that stage. So we appreciate you submitting.
This is a filmmaker who is good. So we think they can handle some critique. So next one is Morgan and Thomas. We're going to do this one a little quicker. So
this is coming from the all. Oh wait, Morgan and Thomas, is that the couple?
Yeah. Zach Boyle.
What Zach?
I replaced
Boyle.
them. So the song.
Oh, okay.
They're correct.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Sweet. So we got this coming from Zach Boyle. Shot this by myself with a Sony FX3 and an A7 IV. Mixed between a handheld gimbal monopod. This is my first time using why won't this click? Spotlight. Happy with how it turned out the first dance scenes. Wish I could learn how to soften the P's and T's in post-production from the dad's toast.
That sibilance is typically done in mic. It's tough in post. You can do it, but the thing that people don't realize about audio, Bobby, is like if a frequency that's going, that sound is also in your normal words.
Yeah.
And once you cut it out of, when you minimize one thing, you're minimizing everything, and it ends up sounding not natural. Now, given if it's distracting, you might be better off pulling off. I'll listen to it. We'll see. We'll keep an eye for that. If you're in chat, let us know where it is if we don't show the film, and I would like to take a listen for you and see if I have any feedback on it. So, give me 1 second because I forgot to put it over onto the right screen, so I'm doing that now. Oh no! Here we go. How's wedding season going for you, Bobby?
It's good. I've shot 4 weddings. My first 2 were 2 back-to-back 2-day. Hey, this is in Minneapolis. 2 back-to-back 2-day Indian weddings. I think I shot like 46 hours in a 3-4-day period. It was crazy. But
really?
It was fun. And I still feel energized this season, even though I'm 4 deep, and that's okay. And that's not anything crazy by any means, but I feel well spread out and well prepared. And I'm looking for assistance in my market currently. If you are in Minneapolis, which this person is, so
yeah, I've had a interesting season, so I'll say that.
Yeah. Also, how do I not know this person?
Yeah, you're like the mayor of Minneapolis. Here we go. You ready for it?
Yeah, what the F? I know all these places. All right. Let's do it. Hewing Hotel, a classic.
I like the tilt shift, but that looks really strange. That was totally different looking.
Morgan and TJ as a couple, a newlywed couple. There'll be good times, and there's going to be hard times. And you're going to have to work through those hard times. Through hard work, dedication,
I wouldn't change
commitment
that.
to each other. I know that together you'll enjoy everything.
Would you change that? That sounds fine to me, Bobby.
The P's and T's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
It sounds present. I don't want a no present. Like you want to, I don't know. To me, it sounds fine.
Yeah.
So that's just my opinion.
Thing this life has to offer.
A little bit there at the end, but I think it's okay. Okay,
That's
so
gonna be a no for me.
Well, and also it's so far into the film.
Yeah.
Like, there's just entirely too much establishing shots in this film so far
Yeah.
for a very unremarkable looking location.
Hey, that's my city, Jay.
Well, I mean, I live in Boston. I don't want to see 20 shots of Boston to start
kidding,
a
I'm
film
kidding.
about Boston. We're gonna move forward a little bit, guys.
Yeah.
I wanted to look at this sequence right here.
I want Zachary to be in chat because I want to know how much he charges, and I feel like he charges
Okay, we're
not
gonna
enough
start.
for this market.
How do you feel about this right here?
Okay, we're gonna start.
I still need to know what's happening.
From the second I saw your beaming smile.
Oh, that's weird. So watch.
Okay.
They kind of get into this moment. Weird.
Huh.
I'll go first.
Yo, if I were, look, I'll tell you
Okay,
what.
we're gonna start.
I don't think you switched lenses during that. You were wide, then you were close. That tells me I think you were probably fairly close to that couple, and I think that if I were the photographer, I'd be kind of pissed about that.
Yeah, well, and I don't like that he left them saying, okay, we're going to start. I don't think it's cute.
Oh, wait, so we go from this. Okay, we're going to start.
Yeah, like
to
the transition is really weird. It goes like from
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
And
What
then
are they doing on the bench? Are they
first
reading
look? Well, I don't know
like
yet.
a letter?
Just,
Oh,
I'll
okay.
go first.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna start.
From the second I
Oh,
saw
and then
your
back?
beaming
yeah,
smile,
it was,
Okay.
and there was a fade to black before that.
Yeah. Yeah, that fade to
I
black
knew
is
you were the
confusing
one
for
that I
me.
wanted to share with.
And then he doesn't show them reading the letter at all.
From that moment 2 years
Mm.
ago,
Oh, here, like, it
you've not only
kind of goes like,
For the first
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
that coverage is totally wrong, Bobby.
Yeah, that I think that's a big
You,
thing
you,
that I would say.
you can't cover that way.
I don't dislike that angle as like a shot to have, but
Oh,
yeah, I wouldn't cover it like
that
that.
was beautiful.
Thanks, honey.
Babe, clapping for us.
Classic Minneapolis bench, just piece of shit. I've been wanting to check this place out. Hey, the light.
All right, we can go. So, what do you like about it?
I think there are some good shots. I think there is some good use of light. I think that there are definitely some like moments that are well captured, emotion and whatnot. I don't have a whole lot to say about the story. I wasn't totally paying attention, I feel like. So, I was going to say one other thing. What was it? Oh, I think that the lighting at the reception that you used a spotlight for the first time, I think it looks pretty solid.
Yeah, I would say it looks great. I have nothing. I like direct backlit lights. I mean, I think you lit it really well. There's a lot of really solid shots. You know, I always looking for like someone who can handle a lot of different lighting environments. And you could see this person they're very comfortable with their camera. They like, even like those silhouettes of those people hanging out in that blue light, like everything to me looked like they made great choices.
Yeah.
The audio was good throughout the film. I'm not sure, I kind of said there's too many shots of this and I really stand by that. Like this right here, that is not flattering.
Yeah. I also, so look, this is I feel like only I can speak to this between myself and Jay. I don't think you shot anything at the Hewing. Am I wrong? Because I didn't see any prep rooms. Or wait, is she in the Hewing there? She might be. Okay. Then I take it all back. But that doesn't look like the Hewing. So I don't know.
Regardless, I think for some of the shots that I was like, there's too many of them. Some of them were nice, and they were like, you could tell that I like this. Is he was like shooting it, and he's like, how do I make this more interesting?
Yeah, how do I elevate this a little bit?
Yeah, like
or
for instance,
how do I do something creative? Because I want to.
This shot right here was like the smoothest gimbal shot ever.
This.
Yeah, and I love the tilt
that was
shift.
Heavy stabilized, but yes.
I like the tilt shift.
I
on
like the
again.
tilt shift. I think it was used too much.
I would
think
agree.
Because you did it with a couple different scenes, it kind of lost the impact a little bit, but it does look nice.
Well, you got to put them in like the good shots.
Yeah.
Like some of the shots were just not worth including. And I don't think
Yeah.
you should use tilt shift to fix shots that aren't worth including. But
Yep.
But I think, like, honestly, like in terms of like the way it was, minus that one critical thing, which I think we'll get to.
This.
Well, this and then the way that
Yeah, no, I know
entire
what you're
middle
talking about.
sequence
Yeah,
was
that
done
sequence, yeah.
was not.
That's another
my
tilt
thing.
shift shot there. Yeah. I
But
know.
anyway, this is a good film, like a good shooter.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the editing is where, and it's not bad. It's just like there are things I definitely would do different in the edit. There are things I do different in the shooting too, but like there's a lot of solid shots.
Well, like this right here does not look good.
Yeah. Zachary, you if you're early in your career, you wanna learn a little bit more.
You want a
come
mentor.
hit me up. Yeah, you want a mentor? Come shoot under me. I'm in Minneapolis too. Or let's just hang and get a coffee. With that said, things that I think could be done differently. I'm going to say two small things, and then let's dive into that sequence and just talk through it, maybe, Jay. And you can add more, obviously.
Yeah,
But
let's talk about that
two
sequence
small
in its
things-
own.
Okay, the two small things, the only things I would say is there were some shots that are just a little too wobbly handheld, and a few little focus hunting things I saw here and there.
Yep.
I
would say
but-
minus
That's
this
all, yeah.
sequence, too many, like I already said, way too many shots of things that aren't that great looking or just straight up unflattering. And then I think the music choice didn't make any sense to me, the second one. Like, bong, bong, bong. And then there's like the editing didn't follow it. The couple's just like standing there. Like, it just wasn't the vibe.
Yeah. I think I actually have one more thing to add. Now that I'm watching through this, look how many shots here
The back
have
of their heads.
movement back of their heads, but I don't know, whatever. All these shots have movement. The movement is going left and then right and up and down. Like, a lot of this movement isn't intentional. I know it's handheld, but I think you could secure that rig a little bit better to lose some of that and get better handheld footage. And also, like, static shots are important too.
Well, also,
We
like,
don't need to move every time.
way too many shots of them just standing like poses and like it.
Yeah.
I think like something about this day got out of control.
Yeah. And we don't know. We don't know, all the
Yeah,
variables.
'cause-
let's talk about that sequence though.
Yeah.
Like what would you do? Okay, let's say you have these two events. They're reading I don't even know what, something kind of letters to each other on the bench. They're
Yeah.
doing the first look.
Those
You're
are the
trying to
letters.
intertwine that. What would you do differently?
Well, there's two things. There's the shooting it and there's the editing of it. So I think
Yeah.
the way it was used in the film, even if it was shot well, I didn't like kind of like over the first look and this is protracted. I don't love first looks. To me, first looks are not major parts of your day. Like it's one or two shots, quick. I'd like to take, if I do portraits after the first look, I don't include them together. I use them throughout the film. I don't go like, oh, this is the first look, including the portraits that went with the first look. So
Yeah.
kind of like this, like it was just so much of that one sequence and it's not that compelling to me. This looks amazing, by the way, at the bar.
Yeah.
So I didn't like how it was edited. I didn't like how it was put in there. But then I would say,
I don't like that font.
yeah, I'm not crazy. I mean, I'm okay
Side
with it. I can take
It's whatever.
I can
it's
take a
at the end
serif
too, so I don't
font.
care that much.
So my biggest issue was, and then of course the fading to black, which was really weird. Like
That's what really got me.
You can't
It
fade to
ended
black.
that scene, and then you went back to it, and you didn't go back to like a later moment. You went back to the exact same spot that you just ended.
Fade to
I think
black is like
that's
a storytelling mechanic, and it's designed to tell you this is now over. Here's another thing. You know,
well, the other thing is it can't be over because we never got the payoff. They never saw each other. She just tapped him on the shoulder, and he started.
of course,
to turn,
even that. So okay, so that's one. The way it was edited was off to me. The way it was shot, I do not care what that photographer wants to do. You have to have the conversation with the couple and say, for instance, you could have had them drape their arm over the bench and look at each other if they really insisted on that. I would have found a way to hide in that bush.
Yeah,
if they really insisted on it. You cannot not show people's faces.
Yeah.
There's entirely
Yeah,
too many shots of the back of people's heads.
I don't dislike that shot.
Sure,
But
it's
I
fine.
dislike that that's the only shot. Like, I love, especially if you got even further back, right? Negative space, you see the skyline, they're small in frame. I think that's a super cool looking shot, but it can't be the only shot in that
You
scenario.
got to show their faces. You got to have like, if they're reading
Especially
letters,
if you're building around it. I
Mhm.
mean, you're building around letter reading there. We got to see the emotional connection there.
yes. And if I didn't get it, I wouldn't have built the edit around it.
Yeah.
I would have been like say they're like, no, screw you, loser. We're not
Yeah.
doing anything you say, and we don't care about it. I would have been like, okay, I'm not gonna build a piece around these vows. Then.
Yeah. You know what's interesting too, right? You think about that was letter reading, right? Vows maybe or letters they wrote to each other. There are plenty of times where I will use that as a foundation of a story, and I'm only recording audio. I'm not recording video of them reading their letter necessarily. Plenty of times they'll read it while they're getting ready, and they'll open it separately. So that could have been an option too, if you felt like the audio was important. I mean, just pretend like they read it during prep. You don't need a visual aspect to it, and cover it with other stuff. And
Yeah, I mean, there was so many things I didn't like. Like, it wasn't even framed, like, centered. It just wasn't exposed well. It was too yellow. Like, I felt like the chaos of the moment, it felt challenging to me.
And again, we don't know all the variables. And like, look, I've done this 17 years. So has Jay. So has Jared. Like, we've done this forever. We know it's a wedding, right? We know what could be happening here, but we also know,
Well, you're the professional, like what you choose to include and not include. Like, even the fact that those, like, I would have been like, can we not shoot over here where I can see these giant construction pieces in the background?
Yeah,
like,
that sucks because that's such a cool location here, and now it's been under construction for like 2 years.
Anyway, that's my feeling on that. There's a lot of good stuff, but the fact that the whole like body of the piece felt disconnected, like even another fade to black there, like why?
Yeah,
why are we doing that?
Anyway, Zach, 1, reach out. 2, submit again. We'd love to review some other films of yours.
Yes.
And some good shots in there for sure.
Yes, very much so. And honestly, I like what he tried to do. I want to give him credit for, like, he was trying to do something personal, and I like that. Like, it was a filmmaker caring, and that's awesome.
All right, we got 2 more. I think we gotta.
We're gonna rush these ones.
A little faster.
Sorry,
we got in some good conversation though, so you know.
Here we go.
All right, this is coming from Mason Bentley on the R7 and a 51.8.
R7.
The whole day. That's what Grant uses. Grant Fitzgerald.
Yep.
I think. Could be wrong. R8 or 7. I don't know.
I don't know where the audio. Why is the audio not working?
Is it turned off?
There was something special about you when you happily slid your plate over to me when I didn't like my own food. Little did I know I was
What's the
on a
length
first
of
date with
this?
my future husband.
5 minutes. We're gonna skip around.
Oh, okay.
Were you watching the beginning?
Yeah, kind of.
Another memory that I cannot stop thinking
Without
about
audio.
is the day that I knew you were the one. You selflessly set a timer for every 3 hours just to wake up and give me my pain medicine. I love you because of your selflessness. You always put my needs and wants before yours. I love you because of the way.
I wonder how people who aren't Christians and don't grow up in evangelical circles feel about the foot washing ceremonies.
I mean, I did grow up in that, and I feel a little weird about it.
But it's like, are they like, why are they doing that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I understand the context. So
yeah, we understand the context. If you didn't grow up around that, you're like,
John's with me. He's like, I grew up in it too, and it feels weird.
Yep.
I don't know. To each their own. I'm so like, I mean, that's not really who I am anymore, and whatever. But I'm so even. I don't know. People should do what they want. I don't care.
That I don't care at all. I just know if you didn't know, you would be like, why are they washing each other's feet in the middle of a wedding? It doesn't feel very wedding. It does make sense.
When I don't have a voice, you never let anyone talk down on me.
All right, we got Mason
you
in
always
chat.
move me the furthest away from the moving cars, and you always keep me safe. I love you for your terrible dance moves.
Okay, I'm gonna skip to him talking a little. Whoa.
Lead me.
Did we hear his? Did I just miss?
I don't know.
You selflessly set a timer for every. I knew there was something.
We haven't yet, unless we told.
Okay, that's a little weird.
It's a decision that you will make every day that Austin, you choose to love.
That's
all right, Mason. You're in chat. What's his audio?
What is up with that?
What is going on?
Oh wow!
We need to know.
In case you choose to love me.
I would not use that.
Yeah, I agree. I still really want to know what it is. And we're gonna get to his audio. Mason says
A delay pedal. You just put it on.
Chose you for me. Thank you for being my person and staying through the hard times. I love you forever.
Don't cry.
You from that night on, you were going to be the one that I spent the rest of my life with. You came into my life and showed me true love, and you showed me what it was like to be loved by someone whose heart was also on fire for the Lord.
So I want to show you two things while we're looking at it so you can remember.
Jay, stop interrupting.
No,
stop pausing, Jay.
Oh, do they want me to
That's
give
gonna
them?
be all. That's gonna be all the comments after.
So
I'm
look
just
at
kidding.
the skin tones here.
Yep.
Very green, right? And you're about to move over here.
Like to be loved by someone whose
There.
heart was
Pink.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the big things that I know I would be bringing up.
But especially when they're back-to-back shots of the same person, you
Yep.
got to really watch those skin tones.
Yep.
So let's go to the party stuff. Let's see if this thing picks up.
Party.
So it seems like he's using like the recessional as the climax. Whoa. All right, Bobby. Let's talk about this.
Let's do it.
So, you know, I would. There are a lot of really solid shots throughout this film, and I felt like the filmmaker had a strong vision of how they're trying to tell the story. You know, whether it was altogether successful, we can talk about, but I always will applaud someone for having a concept, and it was very coherent what they were trying to do. He got a lot of, you know, like the detail shots were very solid. I actually like the drone stuff a lot.
I like this drone shot. I was gonna say that.
really good.
I like the use of foreground there is
classy.
Well done. Yeah.
Yep. And I like a lot of his gimbal work too. I think we'll talk about where I think it struggled, but I honestly think he's very, very close if he can like tweak a few things to making much better films. And I think that's great.
Yeah, I think I think the editing as far as like sequencing story, that stuff is pretty well done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know that we skip around and so maybe we lose some bits and pieces of that, but from what we got, I feel like it was well done.
When like girls section, break for the ceremony, guys section, ending sequence.
Yeah, it's nothing like crazy, but it works well. It's solid. I think that there is some good direction, either from you or the photographer, going on for a couple of stuff to get like, like, you know, they're like running, she's looking at him. I feel like those are like solid shots.
Cute couple.
Yeah, cute couple. And there were some, just like some good shots throughout as well. And then the drone shot, which
what just happened there? Did you see that?
Was it like change in exposure or something? I wasn't paying attention.
This is auto exposure live.
Oh yeah.
Look at it.
Live. If you're running something auto there, that might be something that was maybe apparent all day, because let's dive into the things that need work, and exposure is one of them.
So the biggest thing for me, Bobby, is the color throughout the film. Exposure plays into color. A lot of people don't really think about that. Like if you overexpose or underexpose camera, it is going to affect your color a lot.
Yep.
So that could play into it, Bobby. But first of all, the settings on your two cameras were not matched. Like you were not running a tight ship in terms of camera settings. That was obvious to me. Whatever this camera is so green, and the other one is so magenta. And so that's a thing. The saturation in the post, like her eyes are so dark. You can just see like he's just crushing those blacks or something, doing something. And it looks very unflattering. And the thing people don't realize, Bobby, I think a lot of times is when you try to get a really dynamic look in post, if you don't nail the exposure, it really exacerbates the exposure problems.
Yeah.
And so I'm seeing that. And then I honestly
Mason, what do you mean it's all the Canon R7 when we're asking if you're on some auto something?
I think he says
something's changing there.
Both he might be on auto ISO, and he's saying both cameras are R7s.
Oh.
But I'm saying they seem like
Gotcha. I mean, they can be the same camera. They're just not set the same, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you just did serious grading.
So the eye thing is I mean that can also be one, somebody's facial structure and also the lighting.
What do you mean eye thing?
Like having really dark eyes, right? Being lost in shadows. That can be eyes that are set back a little bit.
For sure. But it's just like the way it was crushed. It was anyway.
It was just one camera, the R7. Oh yeah, it was just the R7 and the 50 mil.
So I would say your editing is not matching then.
Yeah.
You're just not matching from shot to shot to sequence. Like you need to match your skin tones throughout the day.
Yeah.
And then I think the last thing I was going to say is as much as I don't think it's super successful to build the entire piece, to separate their vows like that and have all the girls and all the grooms and all the brides. I would have liked them to be mixed up a little bit.
Do it differently. Yeah. I think it can work. It's fine, right? But I think you can push yourself creatively by mixing that a little bit.
Yeah.
And in turn, mixing it, you can cut more out and be more succinct to the point.
Well, so I did want to so this right here, the greens right here look pretty solid, right? Right here.
Yellow.
You have all these yellow things mixed with this green. It's just, and her dress and
this to me is overexposed.
Not white balanced properly. It's too blue.
Probably true. Yeah. Yeah. I think so. For me, the color is a big one, and I think you kind of talked enough about that. I think there's a lot of overexposure too, and that also it makes color difficult. But stuff like that. So yeah, I think getting a really a little bit better control of camera settings and understanding of that, or maybe understanding it, it's just being able to do it on the fly or whatever, and shooting a little more for your highlights to save those will help you across the board.
Especially on the R7 is that an APS-C camera?
It is a cropped, yeah.
Yeah, so crop sensor cameras, guys, are much more brittle in the highlights.
Yeah.
You need to be really careful with those cameras and really lean into the middle. If you go way under, they look dingy. If they go way over, they break.
Yeah.
And so
the other thing too is shoot, what was I just gonna say? You can shoot, in a more I shoot standard picture profile. I don't want to deal with it. Some people shoot log, some people shoot Cine 4 on whatever, right? You can shoot whatever. But in Canon, if you're having all these issues, I think some of the issues in the edit, so I don't want to necessarily suggest that you shoot a more neutral profile. But I have seen that could look good, I guess. So
I would say if you don't have
he is shooting log.
I knew he was shooting log. I could tell he was shooting log just based on all the mistakes.
Yeah.
Because
so then maybe let me take it back. Maybe shoot standard and see what that looks
everyone
like.
Who argues with me that everyone should be shooting log doesn't watch enough wedding films and doesn't work with enough wedding filmmakers to know that when you're starting and you're not
and if you don't have a monitor where you're not baking in that LUT or something, I don't think you're seeing what this is actually ending up looking like, and that could be a big hang up.
There's just so many things you can mess up.
Auto white balance.
Oh, you're shooting auto white balance too?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, that's what the problem is, the whole film.
So that's the problem. Even in the same scene, it will shift. It might even, I know on Sony it shifts while you're recording. It's a huge pain in the ass. So if that is the case, be careful with that too.
Yeah. Cool.
So we got, Is that it? Do we have another?
Yeah, I would just say that in sequence with that music driving in this film, just you got to cut to the music. It just was.
But all that to say, there's definitely, there's some promising stuff in here too. So.
Yep, this is
definitely
this couple is going to get this film and think it's the best thing they've ever seen, and that is the goal.
And that is what matters. So,
and then not because they're idiots, but because it's a professional film. It's too standard. So, our last film, they did not give us permission to watch it. I'm clicking on it and it does not work. So sorry, bro.
R.I.P. That is Scott Woofter.
Anybody got something they want us to review in chat?
Private.
Send it right now. And we'll do one in chat right now. Boom. Yeah, I would say submit a film and we will review it. Just make sure you know it's not private. But while we're doing that,
also,
Bobby,
you gotta submit it here. I'm gonna give you the link. You can't submit it in chat. Links don't show up. They get banned.
Yes.
So you gotta submit it. Only I can submit links. So follow this link and submit a film.
but while you're doing that, if everyone can just hit like on that like button, tell YouTube that this stream is valuable to you and that you like it. And that helps us. It helps our channel. Helps a lot. And Bobby, no, we're gonna save yours, John, because sometimes we have other members' films, so we're gonna save it for possibly another week. Keep it in the backlog. So we got Stanton on next week, and then later today I'm releasing a new episode with. I didn't get to release it on Tuesday because childs. So we're gonna be reviewing it. Submitting or releasing an episode about having multiple lines of business with your wedding filmmaking business.
Who's in that one? It's probably a pretty cool guy, right?
Yeah, it's me and Bobby. Bobby talks about his commercial work. I talk about my multiple wedding filmmaking brands at different budgets, and also my web design business. And also, I would say this: hey, if you're a filmmaker and you want a web design, we got a company. So if you want to head over to one of our website and you want to get a site, we are doing early access submissions for our company. So if you want, like, Luma Sites is what it is. Oh, did I send the right link? I might have actually sent my wrong for my own company. But yeah, we're talking all about that in the podcast. So if you are a person that's like, I know that a lot of people like get a camera and they want to make money with their camera, right? That's what's most important to them. And whether it be commercial, we did a commercial gig in New York City this week, and then I have a lot of actually commercial work in the wedding industry right now. Yeah. With planners and venues and all this stuff, plus weddings, plus the web design, plus all, like, I don't know. I wonder how many of these I bet most people who are doing wedding filmmaking are doing a bunch of other stuff at the same time.
I agree. I think most are.
Yeah, so we wanted it to be relevant to the audience and talk about how some of those, just creating synergy too. So you're not like.
Well, I think it's an interesting. Hey, stop. It's an interesting conversation because I think a lot of people who are doing wedding filmmaking, at their core, are entrepreneurial. Mm-hmm. You kind of have to be, and so whether you have multiple businesses in the same industry or in completely separate industries. It's an interesting conversation, so check that out when we drop it.
Okay, I'm not getting any submissions, so if you submitted, I need to see it, and if not, we're gonna just call it a day. I'll give you guys a few more minutes. Here, just say yes. Yeah, that's great.
That's super solid, John.
Yeah. Okay, so hey guys, thank you so much for checking out the Wedding Film School show. We're gonna bounce. Thank you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We do weekly live streams, weekly podcast, not weekly videos, but we try to be somewhat weekly. Oh, there it is. Weekly. Appervision. He said he submitted. Let's see. There it is. Let's do it. All that stuff still counts. Like I said, drop a like. Check out our other videos. All that stuff helps and helps us do what we get to do, and what we love to do, which is serve the wedding filmmaking community with free educational content from wedding filmmakers for wedding filmmakers. So, you ready for this one?
nam, whatever. You do not have to be of a certain skill level to submit. We are open to. Let's watch it though.
We big time grade on a curve.
Yep.
We're if you are new, we want to give you the feedback that will help you where you are in your business. So
exactly.
I don't know if this is in the States. So every time we do something international, we're always trying to orient ourselves to the wedding culture. So if we get things wrong with how we're reviewing it, because we don't know how weddings go, we apologize in advance. But we always do our best to be culturally sensitive and understand about the weddings. So here we go. Ooh, I like this song.
Yeah.
That's a vibe too.
Everywhere I look around, love is in the air, every sight and every sound. And I don't know if I'm being foolish, don't know if I'm being wise, but it's something that I must believe in. And it's there when
Okay, so this is a wicked long film, by the way, so I'm just gonna
hop around.
So I want to say in advance, a 20-minute film we can't review. So
well, we can just review a piece.
Yeah, we can review for you.
There's no scenario where we watch all 20 minutes.
No, all we can review for you is did we like the shots?
Mm-hmm.
Because the story is so protracted that we can't even properly review the story. So just in advance, know that we're not going to have much to say about this story. So I'm going to cut over to here when the bride starts coming down the stairs.
Look at that tux, the coat tail.
Is this Italy or Portugal or I wonder what
it
this
is? Mexico, I believe he said.
All right, I like the music, but I don't like the music.
Uh-oh, sound effects. What is happening? Horror movie.
It's a ghost
Who's
story.
gonna die?
Did you watch Sculpting with Time?
Oh, Ethan, how's it going? So nice of you to join us at the end of the stream.
I wonder if this is. It doesn't look like a real film.
I don't think so.
But it's got the speed.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Could be.
Could just be a slightly increased speed. Maybe it is a real film. Well, they're in chat. Approvision, is this actual film? We don't think so, but correct us if we're wrong.
I can't. Approvision, I'd like to know why this film is 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, if you can see down here, like we're going from bringing another song in.
Dancing, yeah.
3 songs so far of people dancing.
Party.
All right, so I'm gonna give my feedback real quick.
Yeah.
I like that
again,
this
there's not a
filmmaker.
whole lot to say, so.
Well, I can say this: they have a lot of ideas, and they try a lot of ideas, and I like that. I think that's good. I think this film would be incalculably better at 4 to 5 minutes. I think at 20 minutes, it is a slog. There's almost I didn't hear any talking, by the way, throughout the day.
That's an issue.
I felt like it was almost like creepy to watch, like voyeuristic in a weird way. Like I felt like it was just there had to be like 14
so
songs.
Much personal footage without like a story. You're just like fly on the wall watching it.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not
What do you say,
criticizing the
Jay,
groom
for-
either, but he just had no personality in the film. Like I couldn't figure out who these people were, or what was going on. It was just like.
Jay, what do you say for, his response to that was like, basically, it's in Mexico, people request 20-minute films.
I would say
that's tough.
Okay, people. This is what I would say. Someone called me the other day, and they bought a wedding film, and then which based on we've never done this, they go, okay, great, got the contract, wedding's coming up, so just so you know, we want the whole entire vows in our wedding in our highlight film. And our response was, we're not going to do that in a nice way. We're like, we're not going to do that. What we tell those people is we say, oh, we don't do the 20-minute edit. We're going to give you all your long form, because what they really want is all their stuff. They don't want a 20-minute highlight film. No, I'm convinced no one wants a 20-minute highlight film.
Once they know,
they don't understand
them
the deliverables. They don't understand. So if you told that person, like, the deliverable I make is a 5-minute highlight film, I will give you all your speeches, all your toasts, all your dances, linear. You're going to get an hour of footage.
If your market literally demands a 20-minute highlight, that's what
I just
every
don't believe anyone
does,
would.
Then do the 20-minute highlight and do a 3-minute highlight, and the only one that's public-facing for you is the 3-minute highlight. Put out the work that you want to create. You clearly don't like the 20-minute highlights. You seem to be over it based on your comment, and I'm totally there with you. And so put out what you want to create, and I will reiterate, the ability or the learning how to say no is one of the greatest lessons you will ever
You
get.
don't have the content to make this film good.
Agreed.
There's nothing you could do.
It's just too long. And that's not on you.
Yeah. It's just boring. It's boring to watch people just like 8 minutes of people drinking.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, you're just having
With
to
that
jam
said-
songs in, and like all your good creative ideas are not maximized.
Yeah.
And so I think I would like
do
to see like
however,
a 3-minute version of this.
Yeah. I do like, however, the creative ideas.
Me
Some
too.
of them I think were executed well. Some I think did not fit. But I always like the idea of trying something out of the box, different, new, whatever. There are also some very solid shots in this. There are a couple shots where they're in the car that look really nice. A couple of the establishing shots that look really nice. Some of that stuff that we were like, is this film? We don't think so. Like, it was interesting and different.
cool.
And yeah, it worked.
The filmmaker has good ideas, and I would like their good ideas to be able to shine. The only thing I'd say,
I think the way they shine is in a 3-minute, 4-minute highlight film. And I think, I don't know. I would just, man, it might suck because you might be making an edit for every wedding that they didn't buy, if that's really what you want to do. And it might be a sucky year doing that. But then if you can start to attract the clients that want what you create.
when I started making wedding films, nobody was making short highlights.
Yeah.
We were the only people in our market
Yeah.
that did what we do.
You're the professional.
And I just was like, this is what I do. Do you like it or not? Like,
Yeah.
like if you put this out, then of course the next couple is going to want a 20-minute film.
Yep.
If we put out a sick 4-minute film, we've said it straight up to people like, well, what about this? And then we say, well, didn't you like our films? That's why you called us.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't like our films, then why are we talking? If the person likes, if you've only put out 4-minute films, I do understand the value proposition concept, which is why I think the best way to do it, this is me getting businessy, Bobby. The reason why I like giving people linear event edits, multicam event edits, is they're so much faster in post. Doing a creative highlight that's 20 minutes long takes forever. But just giving a person like a sick 4 to 5 minute highlight and then a bunch of event edits on the top of it, they're actually just as happy.
Yeah.
They're, as long as they can watch the toast and watch the dances and watch all that stuff, I don't think they really want, like, maybe they do. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't understand the culture at all. I know a lot of Mexican filmmakers who don't do this, by the way. Like, there are Mexican filmmakers who don't do this. So, and I would say, you would be well served to try to buck the trend, because it's not letting you shine with all your creativity.
Yeah.
Great. We did it. We did it a thing, Bobby.
We made it. Thank you all. And we will see you next week. We kind of already did our outro.
Yeah.
Hit the like button, subscribe to our other channel, watch another video on your way out. Watch a BTS. Do whatever you want. Do the YouTube stuff. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place, right here on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining. Bye.
Bye, guys. All right, I got to go to a doctor's appointment.